And if you're doing it that way, then this is time, right? And this is at the beginning, and that's the end. So that would be a way of organizing it. So there's design. All right, design is a department. Now, extras, you might have to wander over.
Now, one of the things that made a difference in this case was they created a video. To demonstrate how to secure the meeting with the broker receptionist. So this is to train basically the other guys.
All the hoops.
Aligned by the stakeholders, aligned by management.
Yeah.
Maybe the corollary to that is stakeholder identification. And knowing who the right stakeholders are.
The right stakeholders for the right. Right.
So this is my first story of Lean. Paul mentioned that I worked for NASA. I was a co-op student there. I was born and raised in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and my father was an early space pioneer. He's a mechanical engineer and moved there even before I was born. And so after high school and part of my college cooperative education program, I worked for NASA. And one of my first assignments was to estimate the surface area of the external tank and figure out how much paint it would take to paint that. And so I had some geometric challenges with divvying up that nose and figuring it out, and then worked through, like I called it, a paint calculator to come up with how much paint, and then we looked at the paint that they planned to use and figured out how much it weighed. Well, it turned out it weighed 600 pounds, and so after flight 2 of the external tank, they no longer painted it. So it ended up this really ugly red color, which is the ablative material that's applied. Actually, Mark Marietta made that tank. Would still be making it, but we don't do the shuttle anymore. But anyway, so from that was my first sort of lean, and it's true lean, isn't it? And since then, the weight reduction program for the shuttle has shaved over 11,000 pounds off of that external tank.
We grew up rapidly, and we grew up siloed. So has anyone else here been in an organization where you've experienced rapid growth in silos? Right? It happens. In fact, it's probably the only way you can grow quickly, is to let people just kind of focus on what they're good at and let it grow. So we had different areas. We have global health. We have global development. We have our U.S. programs, which focus primarily on education and homelessness. We have advocacy work. And all of these teams grew up in a kind of siloed way. At the same time, our infrastructure was still stuck back in 2000. So leaders said, all right, we're bigger now. And now we have to start, we're entering the teenage years of our organization, and we need to change how we're doing things. So put together a program. The program was called Clarity, with a mind towards, let's get clarity about our future. And what are the problems? Well, we have fragmented, inconsistent data. Our processes are inefficient, and so therefore we need to address the situation. So, 2012, define and measure. And again, the foundation leaders did not go about saying, okay, we're going to do a lean transformation. It's just sort of identifying a problem and identifying a way to solve those problems. So, what happened? There was a global redesign. The reorganization went from this siloed organization to now being a more matrixed organization. But as we know, you can change an organization on paper. You can give people new titles and put them in new roles and move their offices around. But if you don't change the processes, people will still go about working the same ways that they've always worked. So you have to make a case for change. We're actually going to change the way we work, not just the titles that we have and the offices that we sit in. And someone along the way said, you know what, I think I've heard something about Lean Six Sigma, and this might be a way. Or it might have even been a consultant that was in saying, hey, you know what, this might be a good approach for this organization.
So if I've got a 40-seat classroom, and I only have 32 students in that classroom, let's say 32, I lost 20% of my revenue. 20% loss of revenue. Remember, 80% of my income is from tuition. How many of you would continue to operate losing 20% of your potential revenue day in, day out, semester after semester, year after year? You wouldn't stay in business. So we're now working in models of how do we got 40 seats, we get 40 people in the classroom. Okay? That means students, you can't drop courses, you're locked, you're cohorting them through. But we've got to use up every single seat of our classroom. Because if we don't, well, the 32 people in the classroom have got to bear the whole cost, or we lose money.
And